What's going on, guys? It's Rob Cheek here, aka The Nerdy Athlete, and today I'm going to get to you my college football Week 10 game of the week, and that will be, you guessed it, Georgia versus Florida, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville, Florida, baby. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. So any of you going out there making the trip down to Jacksonville, y'all be careful. I don't know how the weather's going to be, but if it's not good, you know how Florida weather is, just take care and be safe out there. Before we get started, I just want to say a shout out to my boy Chuck Atkins. Chucky, what's up, baby? Nah, but he's my former employer and a good family friend, good friend of mine as well. I appreciate everything you done for me, Chuck, and we'll be looking out for you, and I hope your Dolls can put up a fight against some Gators this weekend. We'll find out what I think about it in a little bit. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then a little plug here for Chuck and his company and my former employer, Flint Equipment. If you have any John Deere equipment that needs to be worked on, or if you want to purchase any John Deere equipment, forestry, agriculture, construction, whatever it may be, go to Flint Equipment. All right, now back to the old prediction and preview for this game. So, top 10 SEC Showdown, and pretty much the winner of this is going to win the East, in my opinion. I don't think Missouri's going to really have a chance. They've already lost 2 in a row, so it's between these two teams right here to see who's going to challenge the winner of Alabama and LSU, so we'll find out about that. But, yeah, it's funny. This game is the only rivalry in college football to have a band named after them. You know, Florida-Georgia Line, they ain't came around. They start talking about that Florida-Georgia Line, baby. Cruising down the road, my window's down, boy. No, I'm just playing, but let's get into the numbers side of things and talk statistical to you guys. Let's get into it. All right, so let's get into it. It's college football Week 10, big game of the week. Georgia versus Florida in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. So, yeah, it's a top 10 SEC Showdown, which will definitely decide the East. Number 8, Georgia Bulldogs versus number 6, Florida Gators. Georgia 6-1, only loss being to South Carolina in second overtime. And Florida is 7-1, only loss being to the high-powered offense known as LSU. So let's get into the quarterback comparisons of this game. You got Jake Fromm for Georgia, who's 123 of 174 for 1,406 yards passing with 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Also has 17 rushes for 25 yards on the year. For Florida, you have Kyle Trask, who is 114 of 169 on the year for 1,391 yards passing with 14 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He also has 32 rushes for negative 31 rushing yards, but he has 2 touchdowns on the ground. So it's a pretty wild stat there. And then you got, for the running backs on each side of the ball, you have DeAndre Swift for Georgia. He has 110 rushes for 752 yards at 6.8 yards per carry and 7 touchdowns. He also has 13 catches for 148 yards at 11.4 yards per catch and 1 receiving touchdown. And for Florida, you have LaMichael Piron. He has 100 rushes on the year for 460 yards at 4.6 yards per carry with 4 rushing touchdowns, along with 22 catches for 117 yards at 5.3 yards per catch with 2 receiving touchdowns. Now we'll look at the receiving leaders on both sides. For Georgia, you have wide receiver George Pickens at number 1. He's got 23 catches on the year for 318 yards at 13.8 yards per catch with 2 touchdowns. And on the Florida side of the ball, you have tight end Kyle Pitts. He's got 35 catches for 391 yards at 11.2 yards per catch and 4 TDs, baby. Now we'll look at the offenses on each side of the ball. For Georgia, they are scoring 36 points per game. They're averaging 471.3 total yards a game, 234.4 passing yards, and 236.9 rushing yards per game. They also have 9 fumbles on the year. They've lost 4 out of them. Third down efficiency, they're 43%, going 34 of 79 on the year. And fourth down efficiency, they're going 33%, going 2 of 6. And Georgia quarterbacks has been sacked 4 times this year for minus 20 yards. And on Florida side of the ball, Florida scoring 32.5 points per game, averaging 419.6 total yards a game, 277.3 of that being passing yards per game, and 142.4 yards being rushing yards per game. Florida's had 10 fumbles. They've been plagued by a lot of fumbles this year, and they've lost 8 of them, so they've lost almost every single one of them. And on third down, they're going 44%, going 43 of 97 on the year, And on fourth down, they're actually at 56%, going 9 of 16. And Florida's quarterback has been sacked 16 times for minus 104 yards. So they've been sacked a bunch of times this year. Now we'll jump over to the Georgia defense and the Florida defense on each side of the ball. You got on the Georgia side, you have Georgia's are allowing 10.6 points per game on average. So they're pretty good defense, and they're giving up 266.7 total yards a game, only giving up 85.7 rush yards a game, and 181 pass yards allowed per game. The Georgia defense has 5 interceptions, and they forced 5 fumbles. And, Georgia, their linebacker, Monty Rice, is their leading tackler at 41 total tackles. And their sack leader at 3.5 sacks is Azeez Ojulari. And now moving on to Florida defense. Florida's allowing 15.8 points per game, so still not bad. They're giving up 319.5 yards per game total, and they're giving up 124.1 rush yards allowed per game and 195.4 pass yards per game. But they've had 12 interceptions. They've also forced 5 fumbles as of Georgia. And linebacker David Reese II is their leading tackler at 66 total tackles, and the linebacker Jonathan Greenard is their sack leader at 4 sacks on the year. Now we'll get on to the Georgia and Florida special teams units. You got place kicker Rodrigo Blankenship, number 98 for Georgia. He's perfect on the year on PATs, going 30 of 30 and on 12 of 14 on field goals. I know he had that one miss against South Carolina in double overtime, but outside of that one miss, he's been pretty solid on the year. He's got 66 total points this year, and their punter, Jake Camardo, number 90, has 22 punts on the year for a 47.8 yard average and a long of 66-yard punt. And on Florida side of the ball, you got place kicker Evan McPherson, number 19. He's also perfect on the year on PATs, going 30 for 30 also, and 8 of 9 on field goals, only had one miss. I think that came against Kentucky earlier in the year. So he has 54 total points on this year, and their punter, I like to call him Mr. Tommy Fake Punt Townsend. He loves running some fake punts now, don't he? I know he's at least ran 2 or 3 since he's been at Florida. But he always, even if they don't call for it, he just goes and tries to make something out of nothing. And sometimes it works. Like the first thing against Miami, he got it the first one he tried, and then he got stuffed against somebody later on in the year. I forgot who it was. It might have been Auburn. I don't know. But anyways, he has 25 punts on the year for a 44.8 yard average with a long of 62 yards. So yeah, that's pretty much does it for all the stats. Let's get into my prediction. I know it's what y'all been waiting for. All right, to my prediction. Georgia, as many of you already probably know, the fans of Georgia and the haters of Georgia out there, they're a run-heavy team, like hardcore run-heavy team. And I always joke around about, how they have like a high school-style offense. They just run left, run right, run up the middle, punt with occasional play-action pass here and there thrown in there. And I do joke a lot about that, but and all that is, pretty true. But at the same time, I do have a lot of respect for Georgia. I mean, with the running backs that they've had over the course of the last, 10 years, it's hard not to run that kind of offense. I mean, you've had the likes of Todd Gurley, Sonny Michel, Nick Chubb, and the list goes on and on all the way back to Herschel Walker back in the 80s. So, I mean, it's hard not to just line up and pound the ball down their throat. I mean, it really is. With that being said, in this new age in football, the new spread era in college football we got now, it's pivotal. It's pivotal to be able to go out there and 5 wide and spread the opposing team out and push the ball downfield through the air. Just look what LSU's done over the course of the past offseason, changing their whole offense around. Their whole scheme is different, and they've gained a lot of success from that. And it's for Georgia to have any success against any of these upper level teams and any team with a defense that has a pulse, like Clemson, Alabama, Auburn, just any team like that. Just you got to be able to change your offensive scheme. You got to be able to move the ball downfield. You can't just expect to line up, run the ball, and win. I mean, it's not going to work. You're going against these upper level defensive coordinators that gets paid millions of dollars to do what they do, and they're not going to just let you run the ball down their throat. They're just not. I'm sorry. And that's the thing. If they can just change their offense around, their defense is already a national championship caliber. All they got to do is just get that offense fixed, and you ain't even got to change it much. You got to run a little more spread schemes to your offense, at least because normally you want to run the ball to open up the pass. But in Georgia's case, you're going to want to, pass the ball or open up the run, really, because everybody knows what you're going to get when you play Georgia. They're going to run down your throat, and they're going to dare you to stop them. So you got to love the box and make them pass on you. I mean, let's be honest. It's no secret what Georgia's going to do this weekend. They're going to line the ball up, and they're going to run it down Florida's throat. They're going to try to anyways. And everybody, especially since, Florida's rush defense has been below average, subpar at best. But see, a lot of people judge that off of the LSU game a couple weeks ago. And yeah, LSU ran rabid all over Florida. But you got to understand, LSU's offense is one of the most high-powered passing offenses in the country right now. So Florida was more worried about trying to stop the pass, and the byproduct of that is you're going to leave, wide open holes in the line for the running back to run through. And that running back at LSU could have just walked and danced right through any of those holes. I mean, they were wide open. So, but you're not going to get that this weekend. Florida's not going to be playing the pass so much this weekend. They know what Georgia does and what Georgia wants to do, and what they are going to do continuously, regardless of whether you're trying to stop them or not. They're going to keep trying to prove a point that they can run the ball, and that's sometimes their downfall, because they want to be, oh, you think you're going to stop the run? No, you ain't stopping us, and it kind of kills them, really. So I think Florida's going to stack the box this weekend. I really do. I don't think the only way Georgia's going to beat Florida, they're going to have to be able to move the ball efficiently through the air, and I don't know if they can necessarily do that, but I guess we'll find out this weekend. So, I fully expect Georgia to come out in the same offense they've been coming out with every year, every game this year. Because why not? They haven't had any, trouble with it outside of that one loss to South Carolina. I don't think that's enough to change the coaching staff's mind on, what to run here and there. And I fully expect, and you better believe this, Florida's going to stack the box, and they're going to dare the dogs to pass on them. Because why would you risk just giving up all those guaranteed run yards? Just dry. Fromm has not proven himself to be a good passer this year. He's had some good throws, yes, but he has not consistently moved the ball downfield. He only has 9 touchdowns passing and 3 interceptions. So, that guy, man, he's a good quarterback, but he's more of a game manager. Like I said before, he's not really a game changer, so he's not going to do much. And if you just, force him to make the underneath passes, stack the box, I don't see how they could beat Florida. I really don't. Georgia's going to have to make the plays downfield, at least to open up the run game. Usually it's the other way around, like I said, but in this game, Florida knows you're going to run the ball, so you need to start passing the ball, open up the run, make them worried about the pass. Because if Georgia becomes one-dimensional or can't, run the ball or can't pass the ball, it's going to be a long, long day for the Dogs, let me tell you. But, I see this being a close game. Really, really tight down to the very end. I think it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. That's just what I think it's going to come down to. It's going to be down to the wire. Whoever has the ball last is going to kick a potential game-winning field goal, and it's going to be whoever's defense steps up in this game. And both defenses have good potential and have good talent over there. So I just think Florida gets one more stop than Georgia, and they end up kicking a field goal to win it. In the last few minutes of the game. I'm going with 30-27 Florida Gators. And like I said, this could easily go either way, but I don't see this being more than a 3-point game either way. But something in my gut tells me that Gators are going to do it. I'm sorry, Chuck, but I had to go with my girlfriend's family on this one. Go Gators, baby. Nerdy Athlete out.